it is obvious that it is not easy to explain why somebody calls a speaker and why you are made to listen to that speaker. It's not very easy to describe. So what I'll do is I'll quickly tell you why NASSCOM called me here. First of all, I have been a NASSCOM member from my business, from the company for last 22 years. So NASSCOM and me grew together. So in 1996, when we used to have the CEO round table, जिसमें आज you require a train size room. At that time, we could do a CEO roundtable in a room like this, and those who were invited, they were very privileged. So 22 years, we work very closely with NASSCOM. I have been a product council member for the last 5 years. I have been a regional council member, virtually leading that activity in Mumbai, helped to set up the Pune Regional Council, Pune NPC Group, and so on and so forth. But importantly, for work, for living, I started my career way back in '82. Nowadays it looks like 1947 or 1857. It sounds like 1857, but it is 1982. And I worked with Forbes, then I worked with SCL, then I worked with Tata's in Tata Industry for many years, and I grew very fast there. I had opportunity to work very closely with Mr. Ratan Tata. Nowadays people shy to take names, but they are considered icons in every which way. The way you have to conduct business, the way you have to govern, you have to manage your organizations, manage people, customer expectations, all of that. So those values which I inculcated came from having worked almost like 10 years with Tata's. And then I felt that I didn't have an MIT Harvard kind of a background. So will I become a CEO very soon in a larger telecom or an incoming IT company at that time? Felt it will not be very easy. So why don't I try an entrepreneurial route? My desire was to create a world-class organization. It looks like, at that time ITC, Hindustan Lever, Tata's, those kind of names really give you the kind of pride. Like if you understand how being in army gives you a pride, or there's some people who take a lot of pride in being nationalists, Deshbhakt. Similarly, you get a lot of pride in business if you think of some companies. So I thought I want to create an organization like that. Why don't I become an entrepreneur? Well, I was first generation entrepreneur. I didn't have any background. So somebody suggested to me, why don't I go and work in a small company? I genuinely thought I should go to a small company primarily because I learn why small companies remain small. Why do they become big? Why does it not happen that every company which starts from the first ladder goes up to the highest peak? So therefore I went to join a small company, and I joined there as a CEO after my Tata stint. And I very easily and very fast learned why small companies remain small. So I made extensive notes of what was my experience from previous organization to this and so on and so forth. And in 1995, I started a company called Infrasoft Tech. So if you do a Google search on my name, you will either get Infrasoft Tech, or if you do Infrasoft Tech search, you will get my name. Those kind of things. And I ran that company 20 years, and I'm very proud to say it became one of the largest banking software solutions company after iFlex and Infosys on top, TCS of course. But other than those three companies, which had massive tailwind behind them, we were an entrepreneurial company. People started to say that it is Infosys, IPS, and Infrasoft Tech in this market. So that's my pride. My pride is also that when I left the company, it was 250 crores on revenue and 30-35 crores on PAT, 1,000 people. 32 countries I have traveled. My passports are like this. 32 countries. Traveling continuously. I lost all my hair, became fat because of that. And I sold extensively outside India. So I genuinely believe that we should sell outside India because we get benchmarked to the best. And I didn't want to be a services company. So selling products and trying to grow organizations is a little tougher. So that experience got accumulated over a period of time. NASSCOM started using me as a mentor for SME companies, smaller companies. We ran a program many years back uh, uh, saying that why small companies are not becoming NASSCOM members. So they found, on our own advice, they found 10-15 people like me in the nation, not even 10-15 people, just about handful, single-digit number of people who started to talk to small companies, smaller enterprises, not startups. I'm talking of companies which have been in existence for 3, 4, 5 years, and trying to talk to CEOs and say entrepreneurs how to scale up. And I'm very proud to say I met more than 150, 200 such companies in last 5 years doing mentoring for NASSCOM gratis. I don't even take their airfare. Khana kha leta hu. So that has been my background, and I wanted you to share this. I wanted you to see this so that you can value this presentation. This presentation is obviously, like any other presentation, is not a rocket science. It is something which you already know. But you know how we know all our prayers. Om Bhur Bhaswa Taviturvari Tastuvareniyam. We know all of the prayers, right? But we recite them every day, right? So you know this, but I am reciting it for you. So you must appreciate I am not here to give jnana. Clapping there, they thought I am using this for effect. समझ रहे ना? I am very proud. If she cries or he cries, I will be happy. आप सीधा करिए, बैठिए, sit. Okay. So these markets are product markets. I want to share this with you that if you are in UK or US, you know the core differentiation that Indian products are very, very difficult to sell in West. Why? Not because they use their own products, but the fact is there is a culture of building your own solutions within the enterprises and then trying to create a very, very disparate kind of an enterprise where there are 30, 100, 200, 400, 500 transaction systems running in West. There are hardly product sales which happens in a large enterprise in a manner that there could be 50 products being bought by a Western bank or a financial services organization. On top of that, Indian companies have their own issues, and they had much bigger issues about a decade back in terms of UI, MIS, quality, and all of that. So I will not get into that aspect. I want you to stay very focused and positive about the fact that products is a damn good business. There are markets where products sell, and Southeast Asia is one of those markets where more than services, products. So as you know about economy, manufacturing and services go through a cyclic phase, right? So people say, or economists say, that in a developed country, services are more prevalent than manufacturing. They say that. I personally don't like that argument, but the fact is that in more developed countries, there are more services. So Southeast Asia is obviously little behind West today. So they are far more product centric today, and they will become more services centric in next, say, 10 or 20 years. So this is a grand opportunity for us today to capture those markets. So that is foremost. Second, technology adoption need is very high, because you will see that in their charts, their technology adoption, although it seems very good, but they are not considered very high in comparison to other Western countries. And third thing is lower cost of marketing as compared to Western markets. So they are closer to the to us, and it is very easy to travel there. Visas are much more easier, and you can do sorties and come back, and so on and so forth. Most economies are opening up and they are growing. You know what has happened in West. We are still not sure whether there are certain economies growing or going back. We really don't know. We really don't know why there are budget cuts even when economies are still doing well. Whereas in Southeast Asia, as I'll show you a chart which I have borrowed from elsewhere, it shows that it is growing everywhere. At least it is not doing badly. So it's very, very important from the perspective that next few years, it's a very good market to be in Southeast Asia. And lastly, of course, I spoke to you closer to home. And the other thing is, what we talk in terms of racial discrimination and all of that, which is what we talk at home mostly, or we talk in pubs. because it's not an official topic to be spoken about. The fact is that there is no racial discrimination in these countries at least. You don't feel odd. In fact, Indians are running many of these economies in the space of education, in the space of eating houses, and various other businesses, software obviously. Okay. The next part is, which you should understand, that like it happens in India, as you will see, that most banks will avoid buying a high cost Western solution. Okay. Sorry, they would like to buy. So how it happens in India today, you go to a financial services organization and you pitch a Western product, a large Western product. Large means expensive. There is nothing called large or small in products. If it is scalable, it is large. If it is not scalable, it is not large. Otherwise, everything is brand. So whatever you create out of it is just a brand. So if you go to a financial organization in India and say, I have a Western product, you immediately get a certain kind of a leverage, and I'm sure a lot of you have faced it. And if they would not, or they will not be able to buy it, they will buy a local brand in India. So now if you replicate a situation, it's the same situation in Southeast Asian markets. They prefer to buy a Western product, especially because a lot of those decision makers have studied abroad. They have been brought up with Western values and understanding and appreciation. Their training is very Western. And in the end, if they cannot buy it, they buy it from a local company. So what pays is to stay local there. It's not good to be called an Indian company there, because you will be hanging in between. You will be in a sandwich mode. You will neither be a Western company nor you will be an Indian company recognized. So if you want to position yourself well and want to sell in any of these smaller looking markets, which are very, very potent in terms of having to multiply our own sales and revenues, profitability and so on and so forth, it's better to be positioned as a local company. Next is the part that which is what I was telling you. If you look at these numbers, Southeast Asian region on an average has grown, if you take all the average of the mean of all the countries, about 4.8% in this year. Now if you leave aside these smaller places like Brunei, or even if you don't want to consider, let's say, Laos, okay, if you look at bigger markets like, let's say, Malaysia is 4.4%. Indonesia is nearly as big as an Indian market, or South African market is 5.5% in terms of economic growth. And you know what are the new countries where people are focusing today? The B2B companies, they are focusing on Vietnam, and they are focusing on Philippines, and of course they are focusing on Myanmar. These are new markets, and these are markets which are happening very quickly. The decisions are happening faster, people are still buying, and they'll buy from Indian companies if you position yourself well. Next, this is IT adoption. This is what I was speaking in my first slide. All these, if you look at Singapore, if in the Global Innovation Index or IT Adoption Index they are number 7, if they are number 7, all are at 160 and 55 and all that. Is not about feeling negative about the market. It's about feeling very positive about the market. The fact that they are on lower innovation index, it means there is a bigger opportunity to innovate there. So you will say, why the hell should I break my head if last 50 years their innovation index has not changed? Agreed. But there are two things which are changing. They are changing very rapidly. All of the countries who want to work on a global scale, they are globalizing fast. So they need compliance, governance, risk management of a nature which is of a Western standard, of a global standard. They are supposed to. I feel very happy people are standing in my session. Can you come here? There are chairs here. Come. Or if you are waiting that I'll bore people so you get out, no, you will not be able to go. Yeah, you can come here. Okay. So what happens is that if you see, there are new concepts which I don't want to get into because it will take longer time. You are realizing there are new boundaries being created because of action of European exit by UK, or what you are seeing from President Trump. These are new walls being created in the world. But our belief is, and people who stand in public and talk, their beliefs have to be very aligned to how the world actually thinks, because you can question and throw shoes on the person very easily. So I firmly believe these are artificial boundaries. The fact is that the world will have to trade with each other together. So without getting into the details, without getting into that subject, because that's not the subject for afternoon, I want to say that smaller countries, because they want to work on a global scale, they need to do more exports, they need to put their manufacturing for better use outside their countries, because they need to spur demand. Their banking systems, financial systems have to undergo changes.